Hey there, folks! Today we're diving into some exciting news for caregivers looking to make Canada their new home. Canada's changing its tune on immigration, and let me tell you, it's about time. For years, caregivers have been stuck in limbo, working hard but facing uncertainty about their future in Canada. But hold on to your hats because things are about to change, big time. Canada's introducing brand new pilot programs that are going to make it easier than ever for caregivers to become permanent residents. And get this, they can get this status right when they arrive. That's right. No more waiting around, no more jumping through hoops. This is huge news, people. This shift in policy recognizes the crucial role caregivers play in Canadian society. They're the backbone of countless families, providing essential care to children, the elderly, and those with disabilities. It's about time they got the recognition and security they deserve. Now you might be wondering, why is this such a big deal? Well, for starters, it's a complete game changer for caregivers. They've been asking for this for years, and finally their voices are being heard. No more temporary work permits, no more being separated from their families. This new system means they can put down roots, build a life, and contribute even more to their communities. It's a win-win for everyone involved. This change isn't just about making things easier for caregivers. It's a strategic move by Canada to address its growing need for skilled workers in the caregiving sector. Think about it. Canada's population is aging, and with that comes a greater demand for healthcare services, especially in-home care. By welcoming caregivers with open arms, Canada's ensuring that its citizens have access to the quality care they need. It's a smart move that benefits both Canadians and newcomers. Now let's rewind a bit and look at how we got here. Canada's had caregiver programs for a while now, but they haven't always been perfect. In the past, caregivers often faced long wait times for permanent residency, sometimes spending years separated from their loved ones. The old system was criticized for being too bureaucratic and for not adequately valuing the contributions of caregivers. It created a lot of uncertainty and stress for those who simply wanted to build a better life. But the good news is, Canada recognized these shortcomings and decided to do something about it. These new pilot programs are a direct response to those criticisms and a clear indication that Canada is committed to making its immigration system fairer and more compassionate. They're a sign that Canada values the contributions of caregivers and wants to make it easier for them to become a part of the Canadian fabric. So why the sudden change of heart? Why is Canada so eager to welcome caregivers now? Well, the answer's simple. Canada needs them. With an aging population and a growing demand for healthcare services, caregivers are more important than ever. They provide essential support to families, allowing them to work, study, and live their lives, knowing their loved ones are well cared for. They're the unsung heroes of the healthcare system, and frankly, Canada wouldn't be able to function without them. But it's not just about filling a gap in the workforce. By welcoming caregivers as permanent residents, Canada's investing in its future. These newcomers bring with them diverse skills, experiences, and perspectives that enrich Canadian society as a whole. It's a testament to Canada's commitment to diversity and inclusion, and it sends a powerful message to the rest of the world. Canada is open for business, and we welcome those who want to contribute to our shared prosperity. All right, folks, let's get down to brass tacks and delve into the nitty-gritty of these new pilot programs. We're talking about two specific programs here, the Home Child Care Provider Pilot and the Home Support Worker Pilot. These programs are designed to streamline the process for caregivers to become permanent residents, providing a clear and direct pathway to citizenship. Forget about the old system with its confusing rules and endless wait times. Canada's rolling out the red carpet for caregivers, recognizing their invaluable contributions and making it crystal clear that they're here to stay. These pilot programs are a breath of fresh air, offering hope and stability to those who have dedicated their lives to caring for others. Now, you might be wondering, am I eligible for these programs? Don't worry, we've got you covered. The good news is that the eligibility criteria have been made more accessible than ever before. First and foremost, you need a job offer. That's right, a Canadian family or an organization providing care services needs to be ready and willing to hire you. Makes sense, right? You gotta have a job lined up before you can pack your bags. Second, you need to demonstrate a certain level of language proficiency. Canada is a bilingual country, So you'll need to prove you can communicate effectively in English or French. But hold on, don't break a sweat just yet. The language requirements have been significantly lowered under these new pilot programs. You don't need to be Shakespeare or Molière to qualify. A basic understanding of English or French is all it takes. And guess what? The education requirements have also been relaxed. You don't need a fancy university degree to care for someone with love and compassion. A high school diploma or its equivalent is all you need to get your foot in the door. Canada recognizes that experience and dedication are just as important as formal qualifications when it comes to caregiving. These changes make the dream of becoming a Canadian citizen attainable for a wider range of talented and caring individuals. Section 4, streamlining the process, permanent residency upon arrival. Here's the real kicker, folks, permanent residency upon arrival. That's right, you heard it right. No more waiting years for your application to be processed. No more living with uncertainty and fear of being sent back. Once you step off that plane and clear customs, you're considered a permanent resident of Canada, with all the rights and privileges that come with it. It's a game changer, folks, a real testament to Canada's commitment to welcoming caregivers and providing them with the stability and security they deserve. This streamlined process not only benefits the caregivers themselves, but also the families and individuals who rely on their care. It ensures a steady and reliable workforce in the caregiving sector, addressing a critical need in Canadian society. Section 5, addressing concerns and criticisms, a look at potential challenges. Now, no system is perfect, and these new pilot programs are not without their critics. Some argue that the reduced language and education requirements could lead to a decline in the quality of care. Others worry about the potential for exploitation, with caregivers being vulnerable to unscrupulous employers. These are valid concerns, and it's important to acknowledge them. However, it's equally important to note that these programs are still in the pilot phase, which means they're constantly being evaluated and improved. The Canadian government has made it clear that it's committed to addressing any challenges that arise and ensuring that these programs are fair, transparent, and beneficial for both caregivers and Canadians alike. Section 1, out with the old, in with the new, a side-by-side comparison. Okay, folks, let's break this down. The old caregiver programs, while well-intentioned, were kind of like a clunky old car. They got you where you needed to go, but it wasn't always a smooth ride. You had to navigate a maze of paperwork, meet strict requirements, and wait for any decision. The new pilot programs are like a shiny new sports car, streamlined, efficient, and built for speed. They get you to your destination faster and with less hassle. One of the biggest differences is the upfront granting of permanent residency. Under the old system, caregivers had to work in Canada for a set period before they could even apply for permanent status. Talk about a nail biter! Now let's talk about those relaxed requirements. I know some folks are raising eyebrows about this, but hear me out. The old language and education requirements were, let's just say, a bit much. It's like asking a chef to recite Shakespeare before they can whip up a delicious meal. Sure, language and education are important, but they shouldn't be deal breakers for folks who are compassionate, skilled, and eager to work. The new programs recognize that experience and on-the-job training are just as valuable as a fancy degree. They're opening doors for caregivers who might not have had the same opportunities in the past, and that's a beautiful thing. Now, some folks might say, hold on, isn't Canada giving up too much? What's in it for us? Well, let me tell you, the benefits go both ways. For caregivers, it's a no-brainer. Permanent residency means stability, security, and the chance to build a real life in Canada. They can reunite with their families, access healthcare and education, and contribute to their communities without fear of being uprooted. And for Canada, well, it's no secret that we've got a growing need for caregivers. Our population is aging and our healthcare system is feeling the strain. By welcoming caregivers with open arms, we're ensuring that our loved ones receive the care they need while also boosting our economy and enriching our social fabric. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: exploitation. There's always a risk that some bad apples might try to take advantage of vulnerable workers, and caregivers are no exception. But here's the thing, the Canadian government is well aware of these risks, and they're taking steps to mitigate them. The new pilot programs include measures to protect caregivers' rights, such as ensuring fair wages, reasonable working conditions, and access to support services. It's not a perfect system, but it's a step in the right direction. And let's not forget that caregivers themselves are not powerless. They have voices, they have rights, and they're becoming increasingly organized in advocating for themselves. Section 5, a brighter future for caregivers, hope and opportunity on the horizon. So what's the bottom line? These new caregiver pilot programs are a game changer. They represent a significant shift in Canada's immigration policy, one that recognizes the value of caregivers and their contributions to Canadian society. Are there challenges? Sure, but the potential benefits outweigh the risks. For caregivers, it's a chance to pursue their dreams, build a better future, and finally have a place to call home. And for Canada, it's an opportunity to address a critical need, strengthen our communities, and live up to our reputation as a welcoming and compassionate nation. It's a win-win situation, folks, and a sign of hope and opportunity on the horizon. Section 1, a boon for Canadian families, easing the caregiving burden. Now let's talk about the impact on Canadian families, because let's face it, they're the ones on the front lines of the caregiving crisis. The reality is that caregiving is a demanding role that often falls on the shoulders of family members. These individuals are tasked with the immense responsibility of looking after their loved ones, often without adequate support or resources. Juggling work, family, and the needs of aging parents or loved ones with disabilities can be overwhelming, to say the least. It's a delicate balancing act that requires constant attention and energy. Many caregivers find themselves stretched thin, trying to meet the demands of their jobs while also providing the necessary care for their family members. It's like trying to keep a dozen plates spinning in the air at once, and let's be real, something's gotta give. The stress and pressure can lead to burnout, affecting not only the caregiver's well-being, but also the quality of care they can provide. This is a significant issue that needs addressing, as the well-being of both caregivers and those they care for is at stake. That's where caregivers come in, like guardian angels, providing much-needed support and relief to families struggling to cope. These dedicated individuals step in to offer assistance, ensuring that family members receive the care and attention they need. Their presence can make a world of difference, alleviating some of the burdens that families face. By welcoming more caregivers into Canada, we're giving families the gift of time, energy, and peace of mind. This initiative is not just about filling a gap, it's about enhancing the quality of life for countless families. With more caregivers available, families can better manage their responsibilities and focus on their own well-being. Imagine being able to go to work knowing your child or aging parent is being cared for with love and compassion. This peace of mind is invaluable, allowing individuals to perform better at their jobs and contribute more effectively to the economy. It's a win-win situation for everyone involved. Imagine having the freedom to pursue your own goals and aspirations without the constant worry of caregiving responsibilities weighing you down. This freedom can lead to personal growth and fulfillment, as individuals are able to invest time and energy into their passions and dreams. It's about creating a balance that benefits both caregivers and those they care for. That's the power of these new pilot programs, folks. They're not just about immigration, they're about strengthening families and building a more supportive society. By providing the necessary support to caregivers, we're fostering a community where everyone can thrive. It's about creating an environment where families can flourish, knowing that they have the support they need to navigate the challenges of caregiving. This initiative is a testament to the importance of community and the role we all play in supporting one another. Section 2, strengthening the healthcare system, filling the gaps with compassionate care. And let's not forget about our healthcare system, which, let's be honest, is feeling the strain these days. With an aging population and rising healthcare costs, it's like trying to patch up a leaky boat with a Band-Aid. We need all hands on deck, and caregivers are a vital part of the solution. By providing in-home care, caregivers help reduce the burden on hospitals and long-term care facilities, freeing up resources and allowing healthcare professionals to focus on more complex cases. Think of it this way: caregivers are like the first line of defense in our healthcare system, providing essential support and preventing situations from escalating into full-blown crises. They're the unsung heroes who keep the system afloat, and their contributions are invaluable. Section 3, boosting the economy, the ripple effect of caregiver immigration. Now, some folks might think, okay, but how does all this impact the economy? Well, let me tell you, the economic benefits of caregiver immigration are undeniable. It's like a shot of espresso for the Canadian economy. First of all, caregivers are workers, just like anyone else. They pay taxes, they contribute to the Canadian pension plan, and they spend their hard-earned money in local communities, supporting businesses and creating jobs. But it goes beyond that. When families have access to affordable and reliable caregiving, it frees them up to participate more fully in the workforce. That means more women can return to work after having children, more people can pursue higher education or training, and more Canadians can contribute their skills and talents to the economy. Section 4, enriching communities, the social and cultural impact of caregiver immigration. Now let's talk about the social and cultural impact of caregiver immigration, because let's face it, Canada's a mosaic, a tapestry of different cultures and perspectives, and that's what makes us so darn special. Caregivers bring with them a wealth of experiences, traditions, and values that enrich our communities in countless ways. They introduce us to new cuisines, languages, and art forms, broadening our horizons and challenging our perspectives. They remind us that despite our differences, we're all connected by our shared humanity, our desire for love, belonging, and a better future. Caregiver immigration is about more than just filling jobs. It's about building bridges of understanding, fostering empathy, and creating a more inclusive and compassionate society. Section 5, looking ahead, a future shaped by care and compassion. So what does the future hold for caregivers in Canada? Well, if these pilot programs are any indication, the future is bright. Canada is sending a clear message to the world. We value caregivers, we need caregivers, and we're ready to welcome them with open arms. These new programs are a step in the right direction, a sign that Canada is committed to creating a fair, compassionate, and responsive immigration system. They're a testament to the power of listening to the needs of our communities and adapting our policies to meet those needs. As we move forward, it's crucial that we continue to monitor these programs, address any challenges that arise, and ensure that caregivers are treated with the respect, dignity, and support they deserve. After all, their success is our success, and their contributions make Canada a better place for everyone. Let me introduce you to Maria. Maria's a single mother of 2 from the Philippines. She's got a heart of gold and a work ethic that could put a machine to shame. For years, Maria dreamed of coming to Canada, a place she saw as a land of opportunity, a place where she could build a better future for her children. But the old caregiver program seemed like an impossible hurdle. The language requirements were tough, the paperwork was overwhelming, and the thought of leaving her children behind for years was unbearable. Then came the news of Canada's new pilot programs. Maria couldn't believe her ears. Permanent residency upon arrival, reduced language requirements. It seemed too good to be true. With renewed hope, Maria gathered her documents, brushed up on her English, and applied for the home child care provider pilot. To her delight, she was accepted. Now, meet David. David's a retired nurse from Jamaica, a man who dedicated his life to caring for others. When he heard about Canada's need for caregivers, he felt a calling, a sense of duty to use his skills and experience to give back. David always admired Canada's commitment to veterans, and he was particularly drawn to the idea of working with elderly veterans who needed a helping hand. Under the old system, David might have hesitated. At his age, he wasn't sure he wanted to go through the hassle of upgrading his credentials or navigating a complex immigration process. But the new pilot programs changed everything. With their streamlined process and emphasis on experience, David felt confident that he could make a real difference in Canada. And then there's Aisha, a young woman from Nigeria with a passion for working with people with disabilities. Aisha always dreamed of living in a country where diversity was celebrated and where everyone had equal opportunities. She saw Canada as a beacon of hope, a place where she could use her skills to make a real difference in the lives of others. The new pilot programs were the answer to her prayers. With their focus on inclusivity and their commitment to welcoming caregivers from all walks of life, Aisha knew that Canada was where she belonged. She applied for the Home Support Worker pilot and was thrilled when she received her permanent residency visa. Section 4. Challenges and Triumphs, Real Stories from the Front Lines of Caregiving. Now, let's be real, folks. It's demanding, it's emotionally draining, and it requires a special kind of person, someone with a heart full of compassion and a willingness to go the extra mile. But amidst the challenges, there are also incredible triumphs, moments of profound connection, and the deep satisfaction of knowing that you're making a real difference in someone's life. Maria, David, and Aisha, along with countless other caregivers across Canada, are living proof that these new pilot programs are working. They're building new lives, strengthening our communities, and reminding us that the best way to care for our loved ones is to care for each other. Section 5, A Tapestry of Resilience, celebrating the strength and diversity of caregivers. As we've journeyed through the stories of Maria, David, and Aisha, we've witnessed the power of resilience, the unwavering spirit that drives caregivers to overcome obstacles and make a difference. Their stories are a testament to the strength that comes from embracing diversity, from welcoming individuals from all walks of life, and creating a society where everyone feels valued and respected. These caregivers, hailing from different corners of the globe, bring a rich tapestry of experiences, cultures, and traditions to Canada. Their presence enriches our communities, broadens our perspectives, and reminds us that our shared humanity transcends borders and backgrounds. And there you have it, folks, the dawn of a new era for caregivers in Canada. These new pilot programs, with their emphasis on permanent residency upon arrival, are a breath of fresh air, a clear indication that Canada recognizes the invaluable contributions of caregivers and is committed to providing them with the security and stability they deserve. We've come a long way from the old system, with its bureaucratic hurdles and long wait times. Canada's stepping up to the plate, acknowledging the urgent need for caregivers and creating a more welcoming and inclusive immigration system. These changes are not just about filling gaps in the workforce. They're about building a stronger, more compassionate society. By empowering caregivers, we're empowering families, strengthening communities, and creating a brighter future for all Canadians. Imagine a Canada where families no longer have to bear the burden of caregiving alone, where aging parents can live out their golden years with dignity and respect, where people with disabilities have the support they need to live full and meaningful lives. That's the Canada we're building, folks, a Canada where care and compassion are at the forefront, where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. The ripple effect of these new pilot programs will be felt for generations to come. As more caregivers make Canada their home, they'll bring with them their skills, their experiences, their cultures, and their dreams. They'll enrich our communities, strengthen our economy, and remind us that our diversity is our greatest strength. To all the caregivers out there who are yearning for a better life, who dream of a place where their skills are valued and their contributions are celebrated, I say this: Canada welcomes you. We need your compassion, your dedication, your unwavering spirit. Come join us in building a society where everyone feels cared for, where everyone has the opportunity to reach their full potential, where everyone feels a sense of belonging. Canada's open arms are waiting to embrace you, to provide you with the support you need to thrive, to make your dreams a reality. Together, let's create a Canada where care knows no bounds, where compassion knows no limits, and where everyone has a place to call home.